dear listeners. Welcome to another empowering episode of the Empowerment Minutes podcast. In this show, we delve into the world of learning, leadership, coaching, and personal growth. I am Dr. Maurine Kwende, your podcast host. For those who are listening for the first time, welcome to the show. And those who are existing fans, welcome back. Welcome back to this Empowerment Minutes podcast episode. Again, I'm Dr. Maurine Kwende. I'm your podcast host. I'm also a learning leader. Just to introduce myself, I'm a faculty, researcher, speaker, coach, consultant, and author. I'm passionate about empowering leaders to reach their full potential through my podcast, through the DBB Academy, through my research, teaching, my books, social media channels, and newsletter. So if you want to learn more about me, go to www.maurinekwende.com or reach out to me if you have a question or suggestion. Or if you want to be a host on the podcast, you can also reach out to me at info@emklearningsolutions.com. So in today's episode, we're going to be looking at the challenges new managers, new leaders often encounter, and most importantly, how to avoid these common pitfalls. So whether you're just beginning your leadership journey or seeking to improve your management skills, this episode would definitely provide you some practical guidance to help you steer you clear of the hurdles that can trip you up as new leaders. So let's get started. Now, before we discuss how to avoid these pitfalls, let's talk about how to about identifying them and understand their implications. So, here are some common pitfalls new leaders and managers might face. There are a whole lot of them, but we're just going to talk about maybe 5 or 6. The first one I want to talk about is lack of clear communication. One of the most prevalent pitfalls is the lack of clear communication. New leaders may assume that, their team members know what's expected of them, leading to misunderstandings and, of course, missed targets, missed deadlines, right? I recall in my journey, this was really common, especially because the team I was leading was made up of my friends, right? So imagine they're your friends and now you start leading them. So you have those water cooler conversations, you go out for happy hour, you're always hanging out together, you share information, and now suddenly you have to start leading these people. And you assume that they already know you, you know each other, and and of course that's a big mistake. You know how it feels when you go from a buddy relationship to a boss. You can assume they know, but honestly, this can actually cause many problems. The team cannot execute without being clear on what is expected of or is needed of them. So communication really is key. And to avoid this, establish open lines of communication and provide regular feedback with your team. Pitfall number 2, micromanagement. Oops, we know that this one is pretty much, it has to be on the list. Micromanagement is another pitfall. It can really stifle your team's creativity and autonomy. This is really one of my pet peeves. I cannot stand micromanagement. New managers sometimes feel like they need to oversee every detail, want to know exactly what everybody's doing, taking charge of their time and all of that. Micromanagement is really, I can talk about this all day. Please don't do that. Excuse me. Do not be a snoopy supervisor. I watched a movie once where a micromanager would go to the extent of checking on the desk of employees when they left to see what they were doing in the office. This is just ridiculous, right? Just let people breathe. You had them because you have confidence in their abilities. Let them do their job. Support them versus being a snoopy boss, a snoopy supervisor. Avoid micromanaging by setting clear expectations and delegating tasks effectively. Delegating tasks means that you want to empower your employees to take on the task and do it themselves. And when they do that, they learn. That's how adults learn. You just can't, keep snooping around, monitoring what they're doing every minute. It actually is going to be counterproductive. Pitfall number three, neglecting team building. Many times people fail to build strong, cohesive team, and this is a pitfall. A big one also. New leaders may overlook team dynamics, which can really lead to a lack of trust and cooperation. Take time to understand your team. What are their strengths? What are they good at? What are the things they like to do? And use those things to help to build the team. Invest time in team building activities, and this would actually promote a sense of unity. There's so many team building activities you can find online. You can Google. I don't know what the situation of your job is. You might be able to even schedule activities within the office, or even take some time outside the office, or even set up team building retreats just to create that bonding time with your team. So you want to consider really not neglecting team building is really important. Number five, or number four, resisting change. Ooh. Some new leaders, or most people actually, including new leaders, resist change, especially when people have been promoted from within the organization. They're already used to doing things in this particular way, and so they don't want to change. Look, this can actually hinder growth. Change is non negotiable. You got to be able to embrace change. There are beautiful things that come with change. I'm one of those who actually love change, and encourage you to consider, working on your mindset. Embrace change as an opportunity for improvement, and communicate its benefits to the team. Once you model it and you communicate to them, they would see that you're doing it, and of course, they'll embrace it and they'll do the same. Okay. Now, let's move on to the pitfall number five. I think is the last one: time management, inadequate time management. Time management is a big deal. It's a pitfall. As new leaders, they're juggling so many tasks and responsibilities, and so when they don't have good time management skills, it can lead to stress, inefficiency. People can start even doubting your own abilities. You're showing up late on time, showing up late on task. You're not on top of your game. You keep not meeting your deadlines. I taught a workshop months ago through my DBB Academy, and it was really about time management and creating a system that works. And so you can look that up on my DBBA website. Go to the dbba.com, go to the webinar section, and you can find some tips there. So, how do you avoid this inadequate time management pitfall? Set priorities, use time management tools and techniques, and learn to delegate tasks effectively. So, just to recap, how do you avoid the pitfall of communication? Have clear communication. Excuse me. To avoid communication issues, establish a culture of open dialogue, provide clear instructions, and actively listen to your team's feedback. How do you avoid the pitfall of micromanagement? Trust your team's abilities, delegate tasks, and focus on outcomes rather than processes. How to avoid pitfall of team building? Invest in those activities I shared earlier on that can promote trust and cooperation. Encourage your team members to collaborate and communicate. Remember, everybody communicates, and if you connect, go beyond communication. Try to connect with your team. And that's one of the benefits of having team building. Number four, resisting change. How do you, you know, handle this? It's about embracing change, having a culture, work on the culture of embracing change, communicate the benefits, involve your team in the decision making processes, and work together to set the vision for the future. Lastly, how do you avoid the pitfall of time management, ineffective time management? To improve this, set your priorities, set clear priorities, use time management tools like the one I just shared, and delegate tasks based on your team members' strengths. So that's it. So, to conclude, when you recognize and address these common pitfalls, new leaders and managers, you can pave the way for a successful leadership journey. This is not, this list is not exhaustive. There's so many out there, but I just picked the common five. So, remember that leadership is a journey of growth and development, and your commitment to continuous improvement would really make a difference. Now, I want to say thank you for joining on this empowering episode. If you find the insights valuable, I want to hear from you. Please subscribe and share with others. And to those who might benefit from your team, please also share this content. Until next time, this is Dr. Maurine.